O'Reilly. The next time you need auto parts and accessories, trust the parts professionals at the 126 Los Angeles O'Reilly Auto Parts stores. Our professional parts people know what it takes to get the job done right. Professionals have counted on O'Reilly Auto Parts for decades. Now you can too. Professional parts people, O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 90 Degree Show, hosted by the Marching Podcast and Blog Talk Radio. Advice may be misleading, but examples are always clear. And here's your host, the Phantom Podcaster himself, Joe Beard.
All right, good evening and welcome to the 90 Degree Show for 2015. I am your host, Joe Beard, and happy to be of service for you tonight. Today is September 13th. Look at that, September 13th, 2015, 5 o'clock on the West Coast and 8 o'clock on the East Coast. We appreciate all those listening live and listening in podcast form, whether through iTunes, Blog Talk Radio, our website, Twitter, Facebook, and wherever you are on the interwebs this evening. At the end of the broadcast, if you decide you like the show, then we appreciate a donation to the network, if you feel so in your heart, of course. Just simply go to themarchingpodcast.com and click on the donate button to help improve the show and help build our scholarship fund, of which are going to our students that are part of the National Signing Day show that goes on the spring this year. So check that out in the future for the marchingpodcastnetwork.com. Thanks for listening this evening. Welcome you to the 2015 season, and we are happy to have you with us. Another outstanding year of bands, of football, of education, of academics, of just all of that stuff. We're really, really excited to have you with us tonight and excited about our new season, excited about all the listeners that did not hear about the show before this summer, and excited for our new roundtable format, if you will. We'll keep it pretty much the same, but we have a much more well-rounded viewing audio representation of what's going on in our bands every week. I know, shout out to all the people on the fifth quarter. They'll be like, man, you always talking about YouTube video, blah, blah, blah. But now we got a couple of apps. We got a couple of more folks. We got more people believing in the broadcast and in the network, and that will make things better off for us. So we're excited about all those potential findings here for this season and looking forward to how it's going to turn out. All right. So thanks for listening tonight. Let me go ahead and turn off the music. And I want to introduce our roundtable experts, if you will, roundtable staff that will be part of the broadcast. We have a outstanding group of folks here. I'm looking through my notes here. I know who they are, but I just want to make sure I can bring them in correctly while I unmute their microphones. Two folks with the same area code when they calling in. So everybody should know who they are. First, the great Christy Walker. How you doing this evening, ma'am?
I'm good, Joe. How are you?
I'm doing well. Of course, we all know Christy being like the godmother of this whole interactive HBCU band thing, the Rosa Parks, if you will, of the HBCU band forum.
You're killing me. You're killing me.
I know. I'm just excited to have you on. I remember back in my days when I first started my particular job and I was struggling, I had your voice and all the folks that actually knew something about HBCU bands on iTunes. You guys can check out the fifth quarter. There's still archived those podcasts, so I checked those out. So I remember that back in the day, Christy. So happy to have you on tonight. And the one and only, this guy has so many titles. My favorite, of course, is part of the men's chorus at his church. The one and only owner and founder of Block Band Music and Publishing, Rashad Waters. What's going on tonight, Rashad?
Well, good stuff, man. I wish I had a cool name like the Rosa Parks of band, man.
Oh, my gosh. You're killing me.
What you got for me, man? I got to be the Booker T. Washington or something.
Well, actually, you know, Chrissy told me that y'all go way back. So you like the Jesse Jackson of HBCU.
Oh, Lord.
You know what I'm saying? You like, because you down, you know, with the crew back in the day. But, yeah, man, I'm excited to have you on as well. Great insight and doing a lot of positive things. You guys check out our broadcast from last month, our Director Series with Dr. Kevin O'Davenport as well. So you guys check out all of that information. Happy to have you guys on this evening. So we'll get right into it. The format this year, we have another person that agreed to be on the panel. I'm sure she's getting it all worked out. But Miss Ashley Nicole, I am sure a lot of the folks listening have heard of her, but I definitely wanted to talk to her. She's a Miles grad, so you know we love Miles folks because they support the network so much, and we wanted to bring her on as well. So that would be really, really cool. I'm sure she knows a lot of you, and we will get right into it. So the format of this year, it will be, the intro will be saying what we'll talk about in the first couple segments. This year we didn't start last week, but we'll talk about what went on in week one last week, a couple Battle of the Bands, a couple of good matchups already. We'll take a break here from our beloved sponsors, come back, talk about this week. Highlighted matchup was the Jackson State and Tennessee State Memphis matchup, and we got to check that out. Shouts out to my man. Let me see here. Let me get my applause button here. But shouts out to my man, Manuel Powell. We sent his scholarship money off, so all y'all know we were legit. And he received it through PayPal. He was really excited. I remember how I was get $100 when I was in school, but he was excited. And shouts out to him because he finished his first game. I mean, he's still the C word, but he will continue, and we're excited to have him. So we're really, really, really excited, man. Shouts out to you, and you got however many much more, but one down, and you can do it. So shouts out to you. Shouts out to all the freshmen that have started their first game or second game or however many is gone. Really, really excited for you as well. So we'll go ahead and get into, I'll mute the microphones from our experts. We will get into our beloved sponsors and come back with what we want to talk about, of course, all the stuff that we went down last week in week one. So thanks again for listening. See a good number of folks here chiming in and checking in through the chat room or whatnot. Again, this is the 90 Degree Show 2015. We'll be back after hearing from our beloved sponsors. You know them very well by now. Liquid Effects Photography, The Edge One Productions. Shout out to you. Right quick, shout out to you, Garrett Edgerson. Let me hit the applause button. I forgot right quick. Garrett, of course, was sponsoring. We were helped sponsor him because we saw the talent, of course. He's now continuing to sponsor the network, but you guys will pretty soon be able to type in theedgeone.com and you won't see any change. It'll be straight up to edgeone.com. So I wanted to give him a shout out and applause. I talked to him the other day and he was like, my business team. I was like, damn, oh, look, God. I was excited. He's like, my business team said this. So I said, hey, brother, lay it down. So I'm excited for you, brother. So shouts out to you. Also, shouts out to Gerard Howard as well. I checked out most of his tape from the game this weekend. And, of course, our beloved man, Rashad Waters, and BlockBandMusic.com and Publishing. Block Band Music and Publishing, okay? So let's hear from our beloved sponsors, and we'll get the show moving.
This is Curtis from 80minutesofregulation.com. From referee's whistle to drum major's whistle and back, your source for sports and marching and athletic music. You're listening to the 90 Degree Show on the Marching Podcast Network.
Having an anniversary party, birthday party, or better yet, you're about to marry that special someone? Liquid Effects Photography is the perfect choice to immortalize all your most special moments. With 10 years of dependable professional service that can deliver from the conventional to the best in cutting-edge technology and creativity. Come experience the uniqueness of Liquid Effects Photography. We serve the entire upper Midwest and will travel further upon request. Come check us out at liquideffects.com. That's LIQUIDEFFEX.com. Or call us at 773-454-5556. That's 773-454-5556.
From photo shoots to graduation pictures, from probates to band footage, from pageants to yard shows, there's only one team you can count on, the Edge One Productions. Visit theedge1.com and trust me, you won't be disappointed.
Band directors, have you ever found yourselves in this situation? Showtime is quickly approaching. Your budget is quickly disappearing. Your music choices are narrowing. The equipment condition is wearing and your stress level is mounting. Stop what you're doing and contact Block Band Music and find out how we've got you. Check www.blockbandmusic.com, providing music, equipment, gear, and accessories to show style, core style, and traditional bands worldwide.
What if there was a Facebook for bands? Wait a minute, there is. Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org is a social network for HBCU show bands. You can create your own profile and post videos, photos, and comments on Bandhead.org. Need somewhere to post events, audition schedules, job postings? Check out Bandhead.org. Are you recruiting for talent? Go to Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org, a social network for bands.
Chopping It Up is a podcast of one-on-one interviews with positive role models that have a connection through music and or education. Chopping It Up is all about inspiring our youth for a great future and providing a roadmap on how to get there. We also chop it up to give insight to anyone looking for information or hope in their endeavors. Chop it up with us on Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern at blogtalkradio.com/marchingpodcast. Chopping It Up, changing the world through positive interaction. Hey, bandheads, this is Christy Walker. I'm alumni of the North Carolina A&T Blue and Gold Marching Machine and one of the creators of thefifthquarter.com, and you are listening to the 90 Degree Show on the Marching Podcast Network.
What's going on? We are back from our commercial break. I believe it's the Purple Marching Machine bringing us back from the break. They were cranking neck at Alabama A&M, I believe, at this battle that went on last week. Some really good film. Really, bands are looking kind of good so far. Well, the ones that we would expect. 718-664-6025. Thank you for joining us this evening. I believe we have our other panelists here. And why not come in while Miles is playing? But let's see if she's out here. Let me see which one, because there's some other folks here. Miss Nicole, is this you?
Yeah.
Well, hello. Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Hey, Bedheads. Hey, America. Hey, children listening. This is Ashley Nicole. Graduated from Miles in 2009. I crabbed at Miles in 2004. I also went to Central State University from 2002 2004, marched in the band there. So shout out to IMM. Shout out to all my Mylians, Purple Marching Machine. Shout out to all the Bama band heads. Thank you, Joe, for having me here. Hey, Christy, I'm here too. Yeah. It's
Girl,
rough,
you come
it's rough
in,
being
so.
up here. It's rough being up here in Ohio. You missing everything.
You come in shouting folk out.
Call too.
See, that's why
But
it
while
was
I'm thinking about shout out to Christy for putting everybody on this Periscope app.
Oh yeah. Woo. Oh yeah.
Woo, doggy dog world out here.
It's changed the game. It's changed the game. It's just in 2 short weeks, it has changed the game.
Yes. Y'all can follow me on my Periscope at Controversy5. That is CONTR, capital O, capital W, verse with a Y, the number 5. Children, it's not for you. I'm just letting you know.
Lord
for
have
you.
mercy.
You see now why we added the flavor now to the show. It was quite boring. It was just Rashad and I. As I unthrew. How you doing, Rashad? Yeah, well, right. But it's all good now. So thank you so much for joining us. We have the full panels who will be coming at you guys, laying down the law, if you will, breaking things down, because I need to get schooled too. I'm way out in California, so I may not be catching a lot of the phrases or whatever that's coming across. I definitely want to ask people about the box, because I don't even know what that is. I thought people were talking about the jukebox, but I've heard like 3 or 4 different boxes. But yes, we will definitely try to find out all that information. That's why I had you guys on. So 718-664-6025. Thanks for calling in. Thanks for listening. Let's go ahead and get right into it. And of course, we'll let ladies go first. And, you know, we'll let Rashad and I go bring up the rear, if you will. Last week essentially was week 1, and a lot of bands were out there cranking against each other. They already introduced Periscope. Shout out to the Periscope folks. It's like instantly the sideline reporters that Rashad and I was like, man, if we could just hear exactly what's going on from, if someone could call, write us right now. Well, we got that, and we got the video. So we're excited to have that, and we'll be shouting out to all the folks and all their handles and monikers, if you will, on our show and on our trailers for the shout-outs to all the people that we watch, okay? So I will let Miss Walker get into it, because she had quite an extensive site, if you will, with the apps, and checking out a lot of her posts. Check her out also, too, Diary of a Female Bandhead. Check that blog post out. That was really good, if you will, breakdown of the whole Periscope and what we're talking about.
Okay.
So, Christy, I will go ahead and give you the floor.
Okay, well, we're talking about Periscope.
We'll talk about Periscope last week. I'm just giving you the floor. I know that we talked about it a little bit, but yeah, if you want to get into it to give some of the listeners, because I was telling folks like, yeah, man, Periscope changing the game, and they're like, what? Yeah, what is it? So, we can.
Okay, well, what Periscope is an app, a free. Let me just put it out there. It's free, downloadable app for your phone. So it's available on Androids and it's available on iPhones. That the app actually turns your phone into a live streamer. So basically, you're at an event like a game. You put in, you're at the Boombox Classic. So say you put Jackson versus Southern, and then you can basically live stream the event. So back in the day, I remember when I would be rushing to get up audio clips, and then it went to video clips, and then YouTube, and now you can get the scoop on people's bands instantaneously, like as if you're right there. And I know last weekend through Periscope and looking at other people's Periscope feeds, I counted the number of bands that I saw, different HBCU bands in one weekend, and it honestly was like 17 in one day, one weekend. And so, I think it's really changed the game. Now, it'll eat up your data. It'll eat up your data plan, so, and you got to have a good connection. So, I mean, there have been some things that I've been thinking about that we need to tweak, like, well, I'm on Sprint, so that's automatically an epic fail, but as far as my connection goes. But other than that, I mean, it's no time. And while the stream is going on, if you wish, you can have it available for comments. So our famous Miss Ashley is known for hopping Periscope feeds and saying what's on her mind, and you're right, it ain't for the kids.
There's some more people more volatile than me. Shout out to Bama State. Old heads. Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm gonna be quiet because I'm gonna say they've been kind of moody lately, but we'll get into that a little later. But yeah, so I mean that's what Periscope is. I think it's done so much in just the 2 weeks it's out. I mean, I think what I'm going to have to end up doing is figuring out, because what happens is, so people will follow me, and you can share it with everybody who's on your followers list. So I'm going to have to start getting a little selective with who I share things out to, because I just don't want to be blowing up everybody's phone. But on a Saturday, I mean, any given Saturday, my phone was blowing up with, I got to see the Southern Heritage Classic. I mean, I just got to see, who was that? The Alcorn game, and just a lot of stuff. So I would definitely recommend Periscope, and it's free, so what do you have to lose?
You got to see it as long as your signal was working.
Yes, while my signal was working.
Reconnecting was an epic fail, I'll tell you on that.
Oh, yeah, I know. And it's actually changed so much, I was like, so where's my cell phone contract up so that I can change it?
Well, that's cool. I mean, I feel the same way. It's just like instantly, you saw so many bands, and that's what tripped me out, like where it was like I was seeing, okay, Christy wants you to see, and then I started following more people, and then Ashley too. So then it was like, hey, they want you to see this. So my phone was just whistling.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I was like, are these all bands, yo? I was like, oh. So I was excited, real excited last week, and yeah, I got to see a lot of bands myself, and then I started watching other folks just do silly stuff. And then I did a broadcast just this past with Darius Austin just to check it out. So really excited about it. Ashley, do you have anything about Periscope you want to let the world know?
Yeah, Periscope, especially for us people up here in the north. And one moment, y'all.
Oh, goodness, Ashley. I'm telling you, never dull moment with my buddy Ashley, I tell you.
My bad. Living at home struggle. You know how it is.
But it's good for the podcast, though.
The great thing, and you know what, kids, it is all right when you graduate from college and you end up having to come back home. It's an adjustment, but it happens. So you save money that way. But the great thing about Periscope is for people who live up north, like I live in Columbus, I'm from Columbus. I got friends from Detroit, Flint, Chicago, Cincinnati, Baltimore, et cetera, whatnot. All of us are able to watch all of the bands. Like most of us are Alabama affiliated or Mississippi affiliated. So we get to, it's like we're there. And you get to talk as much cash money trash as you want.
And another thing about it is there's no reason for schools to say, oh, well, we don't have any exposure. Now, let me tell you. If Lincoln and Langston can get somebody to live stream them, shout out to Robert Bratcher.
Yeah.
If the EBT Classic can get live streamed, there's no excuse. So, hell no to the no. Everybody needs to get a Periscope. There's no excuse in 2016.
And it's free. I mean, you know, what do you have to lose? It's free.
Free $99.
Yes, my favorite price.
Yes. I am all for free $99.
Mm-hmm.
So, Rashard, do you have anything to add about Periscope?
Yeah, man. I know it's going to be a blessing to us here on the show because it was so many times within the last 2 years where we have a show to do on the docket. We're like, okay, you know, we've chosen this show because everybody's going to have it. You know, it's the Florida Classic. You know, we know that Bethune and fans are going to be up. And here we are Sunday. Where's Eclipse? Where's Eclipse? And you was like, you can't get this. And now we're talking about, well, last week, fam, you was like this, so we think they probably did a good job this week, too.
Right.
You know, it makes it kind of tough. So now having the opportunity to be right there and experience that is really, really cool. I even went through that again today when I was trying to find the Tennessee State stuff. My phone was almost dead, so I wasn't going through my Periscope videos. I'm on YouTube just trying to find the Tennessee State halftime show. And it was so hard to find because there's only one that I've seen that's been uploaded to YouTube, and it's from the back. So that's a perfect example of the difference between YouTube and having to wait for stuff to be uploaded versus I know that there were people at the Periscope, at the game yesterday. I saw some of it on yesterday. So that's really cool. And from a personal perspective, I went to the Virginia Union St. Aug game. And it was cool, you know, to be able to share that with anybody that might have wanted to see that. Because while everybody else was watching, you know, maybe more major games, if anybody was following me, they have the opportunity to experience, you know, again, some of the bands that may not get the opportunity to have as much exposure.
Yeah, and that's a good thing about, you know, like I said, the struggle bands that don't get any, you know, any type of exposure. I mean, you know, expose yourself at your own risk if you're part of the hashtag struggle band crew. Because the Periscope, the wrong people in the world got a hold of it, and that's bandhead. But the only complaint that I have, so this is all y'all listening to me out there, y'all follow me in the Uncut group. Y'all need to quit saying that it's not reliable. The only thing that is unreliable is connection. Now, in Memphis, how everybody says that the stadium is shaped like a Pringle chip, and that affects the connections. Yeah, but don't sit up there and say, "Oh, it's unreliable. This is a cell phone clip, but this is live feed." Though, see, it's all good when you sit up there laughing at everybody else's band on Periscope. Your band took the L, and it's this ain't reliable. Well, you don't get your goddamn.
well, the thing that's one thing that I really like too. Not only the exposure part, you know, but Rashard was telling me, you know, the main thing about us waiting on videos. I know, like maybe sometime the video we find that we finally waiting on, it's like it ain't really all that, or you know,
ain't no editing, bitch.
Yeah, and then, of course, you know, I got into it with the fan folks because it was the video where it was behind the umbrellas and all that, and they was mad because they said Bethune was better. We said Bethune was better, and then it was like, well, you didn't really have the greatest angle of view and blah, blah, blah. Well, now folks got lots of different angles to see, too. You know, that's personally what I like. And then, of course, like you say, the struggle bands, if you will, we get to see all of them because I like those bands. I was at Smith. Y'all just don't understand what it's like. I love the struggle.
Oh, yeah.
So,
well, you know,
shout out to you.
The beautiful thing about Periscope is that, you know, you don't feel like you have to be everywhere. Like, you know, back in the day when I was recording videos, they'd be like, well, why didn't you go to the so-and-so game? And I was like, I'm only one person. Like, I can only be at one place at one time. But Periscope, like I said, I watched several games just in one day. And then the bad part of it is, though, I have to learn how to turn it off because, if I'm busy trying to do something, trying to actually get something done, it's hard because you just want to sit there and watch your phone all day.
Bro, Chrissy, you were so right about it. I'm trying to run a company over here. I can't even sell products.
Exactly. It's hard. It's hard. You got to have restraint. And, like, Ashley would be blowing me up, and I'd be like, okay, I'm not going to watch. And
you know what? It's because, and I'm one of those people, when it's one of the smaller bands out there and they're on Periscope, I tend to share it so that others can, they get a little bit of shine time,
And so that you can clown.
Footsteps come up here. We're about to hear a little voice. Hi, Gia.
Well, we sure appreciate it. We had to give that shout out to Periscope,
if you will.
But we definitely want to put things out there on the message. So get your Periscope handle or moniker, if you will. Get your, and then of course follow Christy. Christy, what's your handle, if you will?
It's Christy5Q, so that's CHRISTY, the number 5 and the letter Q.
Okay, and you also Twitter, same thing, right?
Yeah, I try to keep all of those. Yes, just Christy5Q.
Okay, and Rashad, is Block Band is on there as well, right?
Yep, Block Band Music.
Okay, all right. And then, of course, we Miss Nicole want give her a shout out. I think I'm at Marcher Podcast. What's your moniker on Periscope, Ashley?
It is CONTR capital O capital W, because I'm an Iota sweetheart. I'll sweet to all the brothers out there, all the hearts. Iota Phi Beta Fraternity Incorporated. Holla at y'all. Anyway, CONTRO capital I'm doing ratchet girl class.
See, you doing
CR capital O capital W TER. You know what? I can't do it. Control CONTROWBERFY5. Ooh, Lord.
Girl.
I appreciate that. We appreciate we got it out. You ain't supposed to be making me laugh, but it's all good. Let's go ahead and push through. So now I want to get, because you guys, actually all of you guys were active last week. Well, Ashley and I weren't, since, where we are and everything. But Rashad and Christy were definitely active. So we'll get into a little conversation of what happened week 1. And Christy, I'll give you the floor again, ma'am.
Okay, so I didn't go to any games during technically week 1, but I did go to the Queen City Battle of the Bands. Did you all discuss that?
No, ma'am, but we definitely can.
Oh, okay. Overall, I thought it was an awesome event. The people who organized it, it was a very well put together event. The weather was perfect, and the bands were great. Like, there was nobody that I honestly thought was just pure garbage. Everybody had their
one band that didn't show up, but it's not that fault.
Right.
Let IIOSD great.
Yeah, I forgot about that. But, yeah, so the bands, out of the bands that were there, none of them were garbage. And so we had Shaw there, Shaw University, who I know they're going through some personal issues with, like, their band director, and their administration won't give them scholarship money or some craziness. And so, they were struggling a little bit, but, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt because they just got bigger fish to fry. So they were good. And then we had, Elizabeth City State. Shout out to Tamisha, who's the director. Yes. Yeah, so shout out to her. Let's see who else. Alabama A&M. And we had North Carolina A&T, North Carolina Central, Miles, and Talladega. Am I leaving anybody out?
Bethune-Cookman.
Oh, Bethune-Cookman. I'm sorry, Bethune-Cookman. Yes, thank you. Thank you for that. So, I mean, I thought everybody did a good job. And you know, you have to take everything with a grain of salt and know that it's just week one, so nobody's gonna be in like mid-season form. Well, I wouldn't expect anybody to be in mid-season form in August. And so I'd like to know what you all thought about it, Ashley and Rashad.
Yeah, Miss Nicole, please, you're next, please. Go ahead.
I was very happy. You know, I wanted to be there, but Coins wasn't my friend this summer. But you know, I was very happy to see what I saw on the Periscope. North Carolina Central, I already knew that Liz City was doing their thing. But North Carolina Central and Hollins had just got there three months ago. President Carter and Smith, you need to be kicking yourself in the tail for letting him go in 2009. Just letting it be known, because he made chicken salad out of chicken poo, as Mr. Millsap used to say, but poo is substituted for the other word.
Yeah.
So, you know, only band that I expected in mid-season form was Cookman, because y'all know that
they don't drill.
Big Daddy Wells, he likes to deduct. But you know, that's just how he is. The most funniest thing on earth on Periscope was when it was Cookman's turn to play and everybody started just typing in the butt, Ice Cream Man, let's go, vice versa. I mean, you know, that's Cookman's downfall. And even the Cookman people will say, we know our book is trash. It's been around since the TRL days. I mean, I was in middle school when TRL used to come on.
Lord have mercy.
You know, so Miles, you know, I'm just happy from where my band came from in the last 3 years.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, because we thought it was all over, but the right staff got placed, and you know, the students there now that's in the music program, they have a lot more opportunities than what myself and Willie Snipes had. We both marched together. That's my big brother, and you know, we talk about everything. So shout out to him, and I'm proud of them. And you know, Nas gave us that TSU touch. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And then there's Papa Merriweather, James B. Merriweather. I love him. That Papa. So you know, and all the other staff members, and Shendrika Smith, who's over the Golden Stars. She did some cleaning up over the last 3 years with that line, and I'm impressed every year. So you know, seeing my family doing their thing is awesome. Anybody else? I mean, you know what's crazy is I did say, why is Smith coming? They could just walk up Baby's Ford and they'll be there. And they get a chicken dinner and a recruitment opportunity, so it's a win-win situation. I really didn't expect for them to not show up, and you know, we're gonna have to have a discussion about struggle bands one of these days.
Yeah, well, they
This is sad.
They have musical directors. I don't know what's going on with them. It's like they have a different director every year, and you can't build up anything.
Duncan C. Gray, no. He didn't get along.
I know Gray ain't there. I'm talking about
as of
what's that man's name?
Oh yeah, well whoever it is, it's like somebody new. They probably knew this year.
Oh, it's somebody new?
I think so.
Yeah, it is.
It's not Edwards? He's gone?
You know, I can't keep up, Ashley.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what's sad. That's what's sad about it.
I was about to ask you who
free
Edwards was.
iOS, man.
Okay.
Free international institution of sound, man. Free the homies. Got my T-shirt ready. You selling them at the next classy game.
Yeah, sweet. You know, it's definitely hurtful because you know it's definitely I definitely marched out there. Me and Mr. Hollins was my white shirt brother. We were out there kicking it, having a good time, but man, it was pretty rough. And so he left the following year, and then I left, and then of course they had to start all over. But that was the same thing. They start over and over, the same thing. And then I heard the current president really doesn't care about the band. Definitely wants the school to go more of a conservative route, if you will. But yes, I won't get into that here. Rashad, how did you do with week 1 there, brother?
All right. So you want me to hit up the Queen City?
Yeah, man. However you feel, and then we'll go to a commercial break after you.
Okay. Well, first of all, since it was 2 weeks ago, man, I'm really stretching my brain in order to remember everything that happened. But I went through a good portion of it today. So I apologize. I don't remember everybody's show. I didn't have a chance to rewatch everybody's show. I apologize if I missed you coming through here. But I'll start from the small band to large band. Starting with Shaw. I kind of like some of the stuff that Shaw was doing on the field. What I noticed is problems with the details. A lot of the details. The details are like 2 quarter notes at the end of a phrase in a trombone part. We get bang, bang, and if you're not careful, those 2 quarter notes can sound terrible. You know, whereas the melody sounds great, but you got this 2 quarter notes that sound bad. Or maybe you got, somebody 2 alto saxes playing chords and they're out of tune, or a mellophone line that's not right. It's the little details that were really throwing them off. Over the big picture, you could understand what they were playing, but just the details were throwing them off. Now, what threw me off was the Stan's performance. The Stan's performance was not good at all. Intonation is a huge issue, and I was very disappointed in what I heard. I remember hearing Shaw years ago when they first started building their band program and being very impressed with that beautiful sound that they had. So to hear them performing like that in the stands was kind of disappointing. But again, like Christy said, I understand that, they've had some, changes in directives, but still, I mean, musicianship in the individual musicians has got to still be there. So,
yes, I'm sorry. Can I just say, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I got to say, shout out to the stand battles, because it's kind of like, they had stand battles this year at this battle for the first time, and I appreciate them, considering the band head in this, because so often you go to these battle bands, and, honestly, you just want to hear some crankage. You want to just hear some ignorance. And, hey, I mean, at least I do. And right. I appreciate the fact that they started doing the stand battles in this. So I'm sorry to cut you off, Rashad. I just had to put that out there because I wanted them to know that, yeah, keep that up.
Rosa has spoken, y'all.
Whatever.
On the River City State, that's a smaller band that's still on the come up. We continue to see some good things with them. I hope that they don't stagnate. We have all seen Elizabeth State kind of come out of nowhere and really get better and better every year. And we hope that they'll continue to keep pushing that like that. It's a great work to them. North Carolina Central, unfortunately, I did not rewatch their show, and so
they
I
were
don't.
Good. They were really good.
I realized there were some issues in the stands, kind of like with Shaw. Not nearly as bad as Shaw, but the intonation was kind of a big deal. Hey guys, with people with small bands, here's what you got to realize. Okay, look, you can't crank loud enough to impress anybody. So stay in tune and just play your part. That's the thing. When you have a really large band, let's say, a Miles College or a Talladega, it may not be as apparent when people are out of tune because there's so many people kind of playing around those notes that it kind of melts together. But when you've got 2 baritones, you don't need to be just out there going for broke and you're just way out of tune from the rest of the band. You think it sounds good. It sounds terrible. So if you have a small band, just stay in tune. If you just stay in tune, you'll make your band sound bigger, okay? That's just my word out there.
You better preach.
You know what? That's something that I say in the Uncut group all the time because, the problem is the small bands, they forget that they're in front of somebody. So everything that they worked on Monday through Thursday got thrown out the window. And I noticed that I had my phone on mute when Christy was saying about the, going to the battle of the bands and we're just here for the bands. I'm going to say it for y'all. Look, we tired of these bootleg promoters with these Cousin Ray Ray and them battle of the bands with all of the high school bands that they can find in the 45-mile radius on top of local acts. We don't want to see local acts. We don't need 75,236 high schools, and then all the colleges really going to do is come in and do a field show and leave for, you know, the transportation paid for in a chicken box. Can we do better? That's all I'm just saying. Can we do better?
Okay. So,
y'all know them chicken boxes from churches, and if you got money, you get Bojangles.
Y'all got Bojangles?
Yeah, we get Bojangles.
Oh, sorry.
Put it up there. So on the Mountain College.
That's a necessity.
Mountain College, man, that's another band that's kind of come out of nowhere. And 2 years ago, I didn't know what a Miles was. I knew a Miles Davis. I never heard of a Miles College.
Really? Really? Where you been?
I've been right here.
You've been under a rock.
About a Miles College. But last year, I was like, oh, okay, they ain't bad. But this year, wow. I think they, the very first sound that we heard from the Queen City was the sound of Miles College's band. And, they're really coming up. I would say that, they're now coming from the MEAC, and I think sometimes the MEAC, and that's why people think the same way. I think that sometimes they may hate on the people that are in the CIAA and the SEAC sometimes until those bands really step up. I'm just saying that. I'm just speaking on behalf of them. But I can say that Miles College is definitely up there rolling with the big dogs. I mean, they can handle their own, so I was very happy with them. Still intonation issues, but again, they're a much bigger band. You don't notice it as much. All right, let's go on to and the show was good. I enjoyed the show. Just need to work on those inner parts. But we had said some things about Miles, and I know that the guy that's over there, I think, is that Brian Nails?
Yeah, Brian and Willie Snipes.
Willie Snipes, okay. Well, I thought he was his assistant.
Yeah, the head is James Merriweather, and then the assistants are Brian Knowles and Willie Snipes.
Yeah, Brian was the one that hit us up with looking for, some critiques and things. So I can tell that they have been working on those things. A much better job out. Let's go to A&M. Again, A&M, I missed their show. I do remember it was a great sounding show, really great work. The only thing I remember about A&M show that I didn't like was the fact that the drill was kind of stagnant. And what I mean by that is that they kept facing the front the whole time, and that's great, but they never really condensed the band or changed the shape of the band. So from a visual perspective, it was pretty much the same thing constantly. I compare that to the very next band, A&T, where you can see A&T is, okay, they're in your face, they're going perpendicular to the yard lines, and now, boom, now they're on the yard lines. Now they're changing. So the shape of the band was constantly changing. So from a visual perspective, it was a lot more interesting. I really, really, really enjoyed North Carolina A&T show. Great, great show. They are killing those backwards pinwheels, man. So gate turns, as some people call them, they are killing them. They just need to work on intonation. The first baritones, first trombones, all that stuff, way out of tune. They're killing y'all up in there. Everything else sounds great, but those high parts and the low brass instruments, you got to get those straight if you're going to continue to keep your dominance. Dega was next. I don't really remember their show a lot, but I can say that Fish sandwich.
At best. At best.
I can say at the very least, Dega is getting better. I really didn't have a whole lot of, anything for Dega because I feel like in the past their arrangements are really, really basic. And if you have really, really basic with a lot of people playing and a bunch of singers, it sounds really loud. But I think some of the stuff is getting harder and a little bit more technical. So, I got to give them props for improving. And last, Bethune-Cookman.
People, you know what? I'm no shade. People were walking out on them. I've been to plenty of a battle of the bands, and I have never seen people everybody started walking out.
Well, I think Bethune need to go somewhere in the middle to keep that from happening.
Right. So that's intermission.
And the thing is,
it's like intermission.
They have good sound, but it's I don't know. They're to me
boring.
Well, I think what's happened is they don't feel not they. I can't speak for the students, but they don't feel like they need to change, and what's happening is these younger directors are coming in and they're being more innovative. So it's not that Bethune is bad, it's just that some of these other bands are being more innovative, and it just makes them look bad by comparison.
Well, here's what I think.
Let's wait for our $2,000 fine in the mail from Mr. Wells. That fine coming.
I remember going to the Honda, I think it was about 2 years ago, and I remember thinking that same thing. It's like, oh, yeah, Bethune's show was kind of dull, kind of boring. And I remember just walking out and passing some random lady. She's like, God, Bethune's band was just awesome. Did you see how together and how tight that they were? Wow. And it just kind of took me back for a second, because I know as a band head, I think when I'm seeing that same thing over and over again, it can kind of get kind of boring and they know what to predict. But I have to give Bethune complete props. They had the absolute best sound beyond anybody.
Oh, yeah, they did. They
sounded beautiful. I mean, like, this is how you do it type of sound. And the fact they only drilled for 10 seconds, but those 10 seconds of drill was really tight. So everything they did was tight. No, it wasn't the most intriguing show, but as far as, like, here's an example of a show style band. You want to show this and say, hey, here's what a show style band sounds like? Bam. I mean, they're great, man. So I got to
I agree.
The second best.
I just want to see the 64 count gush. That's all I want to see.
Yeah, well, they did about 32 the other day.
So that's what's up, Rashad. Is that full of the prune from the prune juice himself?
Yeah, man, that's the pronouncers for Queen City. We ready?
Okay. Well, that's what's up. I didn't have too much. I didn't see. I saw some stuff on Periscope, but like you said, Rashad, I mean, Bethune just sounded the best. From what I heard, what I got a chance to see. I got a chance to check out Talladega, and they're exciting. They're excited. Like, they're excited, but they got to control a little bit. Like, it's a little bit too much. I felt they were kind of doing too much a little bit in the first game. Definitely the intonation issue stuck out with them the most out of, what I heard. And Bethune sounds good, yes. I hate all that stuff they be doing in the stands. And maybe that's just a personal thing. But Sit Still and Crank, they got they got everything going on. And then Talladega was doing it. Talladega had saxophones doing one thing, and they had the other woodwinds doing another thing. All of that is I don't know. I'm just not a fan of all of that. I just like seeing.
I wonder what it would be like to play clarinet at Talladega. Okay, that's just random.
Because doing the snake and a whole bunch of stuff. One brother was picking his knees up in the stand. I was like, damn, is he really cranking that loud? So, that's not really my thing. And then Miles and Alabama A&M, I really like them. I really like the
A&M sounds good. Alabama A&M sounds really good.
They do, man. So shout out to my man Mario Warren. Find him on Facebook. Shout out to your brother. I told him that they sounded really good, and he was like, man, they were trying to enforce the rules on us, brother. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I hear you, man. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to you. Thank you very much. That was the greatest first segment ever, I had to say. I just have to give you guys a round of applause as soon as this thing starts to actually turn on. There it is.
I just thought about it. I am the baby of the cast. Aw.
Yeah, Mr. Slam.
Wait, you're not. Well, I don't. When did you say you finished 2002 from Miles?
No, I went to Central State from 02 to 04, and I got the Miles in 04, and I finished in 09. I am 31. I'll be 32 in January.
Lord have mercy.
So, yeah, well, but that's a good thing, because you're the youngest. Now, at this age, I guess, I won't get into ages. We'll
no,
stay
we
away
won't.
from that. Yeah, let's just stay away from that. But I do want to bring in our our beloved sponsors here. Let them get a little bit more shine, and we'll bump over to week 2 here in the next segment. Folks, you are welcome to call in at 718-664-6025. the 90 Degree Show, weeks 1 and 2. As I mute our beloved panelists, we will be back after hearing from our beloved sponsors who allow us to broadcast during these peak hours and helping out with giving our beloved students scholarships to attend our beloved schools. So we'll be back here. Keep it locked, as they say on 106 Apart. I always want to say, so keep it locked.
My name is Rashad Waters, and I'm the owner of Block Band Music and Publishing and the infamous Prune Juice on the fifthquarter.com. And I love the 90 Degree Show on the Marching Podcast Network.
From photo shoots to graduation pictures, from pro bass to band footage, from pageants to yard shows, there's only one team you can count on, the Edge One Productions. Visit theedge1.com and trust me, you won't be disappointed.
Need to write music and drills? Get it on the field. Outfit your band. Keep your administrator happy and still have a life. Encountering drama in the process, ain't nobody got time for that. Let Block Band Music assist you with musical arrangements and drills to fit your band, and also the equipment, gear, and accessories to keep the visuals, music, and marching on point. Contact blockbandmusic@gmail.com and see how this worldwide minority-owned business can uplift your band.
What if there was a Facebook for bands? Wait a minute, there is. Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org is a social network for HBCU show bands. You can create your own profile and post videos, photos, and comments on bandhead.org. Need somewhere to post events, audition schedules, job postings? Check out bandhead.org. Are you recruiting for talent? Go to bandhead.org. Bandhead.org, a social network for bands.
Hello, this is Dr. Joel Beard, Jackson State alumnus, 1966. I march in the Jackson State Marching Band, which was then called the best band in the land. And you are now listening to the 90 Degree Show here on the Marching Podcast Network.
Welcome back. As the sonic boom of the South brings you back from commercial break, playing an old school song, Can't Get Over You, or whoever that is. Let me unmute, because I always ask Rashad what songs were. Rashad, as I unmute the microphone, what song is that?
Yeah, man. Can't Get Over You, just like you said, by Maze featuring Percy Beverly. That's performed by Jackson State.
Okay, yeah, I knew it was somebody. I see the brother's hat in my face, like in my head, but I couldn't remember the singer. 718-664-6025. You're welcome to call in as we dive into week 2 of our analysis here. Let me make sure I got everybody back with us. I still see the callers. Again, 718-664-6025. You are welcome to call in. Our highlighted matchup was Jackson State against Tennessee State, the good old Memphis Classic. Rashad, I have you on?
Yeah, man.
Okay. And make sure I got Ashley. Ashley, are you back? Okay, it's unmuting hers. It's a little slow today. Ashley, you with us? Christy, I know y'all got you on the line, don't I?
Yes, you do.
Okay. All right, so I'll go ahead and start with you. I'll go ahead and lead it off. What did you check out here in week 2?
Me, I checked out. So it was kind of a low-key weekend, but it actually wasn't. So A&T, I've checked out my alma mater, A&T, played UNC Chapel Hill, which is actually where I work. So it was a kind of interesting deal with me because, my alma mater is playing my workplace, and everybody wanted to everybody wanted to ask me, who are you cheering for? Hello, A&T, alma mater comes first. Like, if you're asking me that, you really don't know me well because you wouldn't know the answer to that. But, yeah, so I saw that, and so the football game, they put a hurting on us, but the highlight, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a bandhead, but honestly, the highlight of it was the halftime show, and the reason why was because UNC and A&T did a joint halftime show, which is probably one of the first I've ever seen, and I've been watching bands for a long time, of a HBCU and a PWC joining together to perform a halftime show. I mean, and it was done so well. I was so proud of A&T and what they did. And it was a personal thing to me, of course, because I work there and I work with students who are in the band, and I advise the SAI chapter on campus, and so a lot of them are in the band. So it was a very meaningful show to me. And so that's what I did. I mean, the pride of the ACC, the Marching Tar Heels, they started off. They played a set of like R&B songs, such as they played like Proud Mary, and they played a Whitney Houston. I think they played So Emotional by Whitney Houston. It was a medley of R&B songs, so it was just them on the field at the beginning. And then they came off the field. Then A&T went on, and then they did a medley of Katy Perry songs. And then at the end, the Marching Tar Heels actually marched on the field and joined A&T's band, and they played like they did the whipping nay, so it wasn't even just playing together, it was like an actual dance routine done by both of the bands. And so I mean, I'd love to talk to some of my students who I work with at UNC to see what their experience is like, and I'm definitely going to email the SAI chapter there, and I just want to know because so it was a very good weekend, very emotional weekend. My parents were with me. It was my birthday weekend, so it was all good.
Happy birthday then! Shout out to you. That would be was that September? What is your birthday?
It was 11th. Yes.
Okay. Mine is the 18th.
Okay.
Hashtag Virgo.
Hashtag Virgo.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. But yeah, I don't want to get too excited. Okay, yeah. So outstanding, Christy. That's actually really cool because I saw the Facebook picture of, I think the directors were shaking hands or something.
Yeah. I mean, it just that was just so awesome to me. It's kind of like work and my hobbies combined. And so it was good. And I think I just posted on my Facebook page the NCAA website actually posted the battle of the band. I mean, not the battle, but the halftime show. If you just go to ncaa.com. So, yeah.
That's cool. That's what's up. Miss Nicole, how did you do with week 2?
Well, being the fact that our videographer, his name is Jeff, Jeff didn't make it to West Georgia, so I told him, catch us for the next home game, no love lost. I got to watch the quote-unquote MMH, hashtag MMH Purge Tour 2016.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
I'm going to need them to have several seats because from what I got, the Purge done came to a nice screeching halt last night. I found out that it's some other stuff going on with Bama State Trumpets. There's some internal issues going on, and just some of that stuff shouldn't be going on Performance Day, but, you know, ain't my band, ain't my circus, ain't my monkey. So shout out to Charles Lewis and Antonio Barrino. You know, I hope y'all can get that situation fixed ASAP, because it shouldn't even be going down like that. Unnecessary junk, but, you know, y'all will figure it out. Alcorn. Yeah, Alcorn had a me-at moment.
Wait a minute. See, why are people always conference, you know?
Because y'all the marching choir bands over there. Let me talk about these for a whole 45 minutes. Then you don't cut them tubas off and have a seat and just pick up when the play gets, you know, when the ball's in motion. They're doing the absolute most. But shout out to SOD. They didn't disappoint me. I can't say that, you know, Bama State are our rivals from an hour down the road on 65. Band staff is working to clean up, you know, a lot of the Thomas J. foolery, which is overblowing, and trying to get them on a consistent path, because that's the main thing that hurts Alabama State. You know, they're consistently inconsistent. Like, they could do good 1 week, and then they're going to have 3 bad weeks, and they're going to have every excuse in the world, bruh, you're just not consistent. So I think they have recognized, and they really finally came to grips that, you know, they could say it in public. We know we ain't consistent, because it's like pulling teeth with no lidocaine, trying to get them to admit it. But I really hope that this week coming up, all that stuff is handled, you know, the way it should be handled. But, you know, train chord. Now, I play French horn, but I love trombone now. Last 2 years, I taught myself trombone, and I love it. And I really kicked myself in the duke for not playing trombone in college. But I have heard 23,218 train chords last night. Trombones, if you don't find something else to do, I'm so sick of them diminished fifth chords, not fifth, but fifth, F-I-T-H, fifth. Y'all don't fix that. I'm gonna put y'all on the cut. I'm getting sick of it. Either you gonna do something that you need, or you just gonna play your play a fanfare. We don't need no call out. Okay, we know you there. Okay, come on, run it. We don't need 17 minutes of train chords going back and forth. So SOD, Alcorn trombones, truck of funk. Y'all need to fix that. Oh, SOP, y'all guilty too, and AOB trombones, y'all guilty as well. Yeah, y'all need to let them train chords go. Everybody do, including my group. I don't even think we do train chords. So I'm over the train chord thing. I think out of everything, tuba trombone battles come in number 1, and number 2 come the tubas. But I really couldn't watch too much of the game, the Tennessee State Jackson State, because of the connection. And I found out earlier today that people was like, "Where's Ash?" My coonery was needed, I see, and I couldn't even partake. I had heartburn. Acid reflux last night. I said, you know what, just forget it. I'm going to bed. I'll catch the replay. And by now, the replay is gone. That's another thing with Periscope. You got 24 hours to watch it, and then it's gone. And for those of y'all who like to do, you want to keep your broadcast when you're done, it says save to gallery, and you can save your broadcast to the gallery, to your phone, so you can always have it. But if you don't do that, it's going to be gone into oblivion 24 hours later. So I want to shout out my homegirl, Mrs. Freeman, for putting everybody on. Brashay was the real MVP last night. Follow her on Periscope at Pranks, Pranks, in capital letters, TAU, Prankstar. You know, holler at her, you know. Shout out to Zeta Iota because she is TBS from Zeta Iota. Oh, and shout out to Theta Sigma, which is Miles College. I'm so glad the homies are back. Shout out to y'all. The homies is free. But I think I missed. That was pretty much all. Morehouse and UAPB. How many of y'all seen the GOAT? You know, with them, I Got 5 on it. Da 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 da. Yes. And then they said, somebody in the group had said Mr. Graham had made reference to that GOAT on Wednesday or Thursday. Dog, at that point, when your band director make reference to the joke, that got to be out your book forever. So TV did really good last night. I was surprised, but now I kind of understand why everybody in the SWAC say they suck and they boring. They don't suck, and they're a little bit on the boring side. Piece of white bread with mayo, but you know they all right. I like them. And Morehouse, I understand it costs like almost $36,000, $37,000 to go. I completely understand that. And trombones, can I get the round of applause button for them? Trombones, y'all did well. Like y'all ate those marches up. Shout out to the trombones and everybody else. Stop fluffing, shamming, skating, whatever you're doing. Stop. But shout out to my brother Kadir. He was out there yesterday. You know, he plays trumpet on the cruise lines and everything. He would like to get some more hands-on with the trumpets in a good way, people. In a good way, not the bad way. All old heads ain't around to whoop on your children. Just to put that out there. We ain't here for that. But, you know, the trumpet, Jesus Christ, intonation, Lord have mercy. And I understand it's probably a lot of those people in that band don't have the HBCU, you know, the show band experience, because when they were going over 679, someone was like, well, should we play it after they play it so we can show them that we're cleaner?
That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
Yeah, it's not how it works, boo. If you think you cleaner, then you just cut right on through. You cut like a hot, nice soup butter. Yeah. You cut like your dupe is in that cut. Oh, I'm sorry, hating references. But, you know, yeah, they did good yesterday. They will be coming to Birmingham, so, you know, we welcome them with open arms. Come on through. And I think that's about all I got to say. I got to see. That's pretty much it. You know, it was kind of dry last night.
That's what's up. Rashad, how'd you do in week 2, man?
All right, we got a lot. So let me run through this. Kind of the same thing that Miss Nicole was saying over there as far as trombones and straight string chords and tubas in that same way. They've got to get over. My God, if the bass player knew the tuba player would be doing that, he would have broke his tuba. I mean, his bass guitar. God. Play something else. Anyway, moving on. We're going off what Christy said. So, I had so many mixed feelings about this A&T-UNC game. Initially, I wanted to go to it, but I was like, no, man, I can't go. I need to go stay home and get some stuff done. I said, but, man, it's going to be awesome. You know, A&T is going to go, and they're going to really throw down, and everybody at Carolina is going to be like, oh, my God, wow, look at this band. That's going to be so many opportunities for us as an art form to really get out there. Because a lot of people still don't know about shows out there, you know. So then I talked to somebody that went to my church that went to the game. And they was like, oh, yeah, you know, A&T and UNC performed together. And I was like, oh, really? Because I was really excited about that because I wanted them to go and just throw down because we knew the A&T's football team was going to be killed. So in revenge, UNC's band killed. You know, I was like, man, they played together. Why did they hold back? By the way, Tennessee State and Middle Tennessee State have played together in that same type of way before. Just throwing that in. But anyway, but then I watched the show. I cried. I did it. I did. I would say it right here live on the radio. I cried. The show that was beautiful, man. How they came together, man, and how those kids were, enjoying each other and loving each other. And I love the video that Thomas gave us that showed not just the performance, but them going and hugging each other and really feeling good about each other and that type of stuff. And somebody said it best somewhere on Facebook that in this day and age where there is so much racial discord is such a big issue right now. To see these two bands come together like that was just amazing, man. So shout out to A&T and also the UNC there as well for doing such a great thing. I really hope that we can help that to go viral because it's definitely worth being a viral video. Anyway, let's go on now. UAPB. UAPB, I've said a lot, is the best kept secret of the SWAC. UAPB is the band that a lot of us don't see. Every time I've seen UAPB, they've done a great job. They did a great job at the Honda. I think that was last year. They did a great job when I maxed up with them 15 years ago. Every time I've seen them, they do a great job. They just don't have the popularity that everybody has because I don't think there's really anybody out there in Arkansas, But I saw this show, man, and it's like, wow, this show was really, really exciting. The first half of the show was really good. I really, really enjoyed it. I can't wait to see some more of it. The end of the show, I don't know what the heck happened. They played Uptown Funk, and I think they made a pound.
No, that looked like the Mario, the Super Mario castle on a cloud. That's what that looked like. Mario 2.
I don't know what they were doing. Did they make a bar cheap?
That's from the brain of Mr. John Graham.
Yeah, well,
I guess whoever did it, I don't know.
But
they hadn't been on
other than the Liberated. The show was really, really good. So props to them. So now let's go ahead and go to the main matchup for the weekend: Jackson State versus Tennessee State. So Joe, I saw the 0 quarter, the halftime, and the 5th quarter. So. And I don't know if anybody else did, so I'll deflect it back to you to see how you want us to do this.
Well, I didn't get a chance to see the 0 quarter. I didn't know it was one until too late. But it was I didn't see Tennessee State either. I think you told me late, like that. We had you saw a video and it was from the back, so I didn't see it. I was halfway upset. After I saw Jackson State's halftime show, I just threw it out there. It was boring. I was like, damn, Jackson State. And I was just like, one thing, I don't know, I guess I'm halfway torn to say it, but I kind of want to go back to the 132. I know that, everybody wants to make sure their child is out there on the field. I totally understand it. I have kids. But we're starting to look kind of jumbled on the field a little bit. And now we're starting to add, wings and cursive dots and all this decoration with the letters, before soon you'll be fam, you'll be so many people, out there. So I wasn't real thrilled to see. I would like for them to go back to the 132. Again, that's my personal opinion. And so I didn't really know necessarily what Tennessee State was going to do, but it was a pretty boring show. I was kind of surprised. But what did you think about the halftime? What did you think, Rashad?
All right, so I guess Tennessee State went first. I'll get them. Again, I saw the show from the back, but I also watched the show that they did against Alabama State the week before, and it was almost exactly the same show, so I feel confident in talking about it. I thought they executed well. I think a lot of the problems that they had in the show against Alabama State, they corrected. Their opening set, it looked like a net that you'll throw at somebody. How it kind of wrinkled a little bit there. It didn't look like that this time. It looked like a lot of straight lines. So great job on that there. The drilling I thought was very good. I was disappointed though that they took out, to me, what was the best part of their drill against Alabama State, where they made 4 and then they made 3 squares and then they turned the squares into circles and then they started unraveling the squares. And so it started to look like an @ sign, and then they unraveled it. Then they took it back to the circle again. I don't personally recall seeing anybody do that. It's a pretty, I guess, relatively easy maneuver, but it looked really, really cool. I just hadn't seen it before. And I hated that they didn't do that against Jackson State, because I thought that was one of the high points of their drill against Alabama A&M. But overall, I thought they performed very well. When they performed against Alabama State, when they started their slow song, it was terrible. I think it was Can We Talk? Oh, my God. It's like 5 people out of a band of 200 people came in. Seriously. I'm not saying. 5 people came in. But this week they did it and sounded good, and their dancer team was very exciting. I thought it was kind of dull last week. So I got to give props to Tennessee State. I thought they did a really good show. Jackson State show. So I would disagree. I think they look fine on the field. It doesn't bother me to see them that big, and I think they do a great job. I like how they did the Tiger Run on. This was much better than what they did with the Honda. And their drilling was great. I thought their drilling was like, wow, like this is picture perfect type of stuff. Like, God, this looks great. And even at the end where they made the JSU, and the JSU was going up diagonally, and they had 77 in the right-hand corner and the little squiggles, I thought that was great. So all the drilling stuff from that perspective, Jackson State was great, and they definitely against Tennessee State on the drill, no doubt. However, beyond that, they cut themselves. Mm-hmm. They just cut themselves. It's like they spent so much time on the drill that they probably forgot, hey, we have to play music for this drill, right? Like, what songs are we going to play? Let's do a James Brown show. And then let's put a Sierra song in the middle of the James Brown show. And let's play the James Brown songs that nobody really knows. Like, Funky Good Time is a great song, but it's not like, when you think about James Brown, that's what James Brown says. Funky Good Time is not necessarily the highlight song that you think about. And
isn't that really called Doing It to Death?
Yeah, Doing It to Death.
Yeah.
Jackson Show had ADHD. It had a 504 and a IEP.
Wow.
I couldn't follow. It was. I'm like that was when I just like gave up. I let my acid reflux in at that point. But it was just everywhere, and I'm like, this is not the boom I'm used to.
No, not at all. When they were drilling, they were playing something, and it's like, I'm used to, if a band is doing like a lot of moves, and there's something I learned, if a band is doing a lot of moves, then you want as much of the band playing as possible. And it was like only the trombone section was playing, or only a small portion of the band was playing, and they were all facing to the corners. So it's like, what's going on here? It just didn't, this whole show just did not make sense. I thought Jackson State is a great, great band, but their field show, the show itself, was just bad. So I have to give the halftime show to Tennessee State, no doubt.
Okay.
You might as well give the fifth to Tennessee State, too.
I was about to say, what you think about the fifth, Rashad?
Fifth quarter and zero quarter, that's a whole different deal, in my opinion. Zero quarter is harder to match up. I didn't really see either band necessarily dominating the other band in terms of arrangement. But it's kind of hard. It's really hard to have an unbiased view of it because Jackson State is just so much doggone louder than Tennessee State. Like, I'm trying not to say, okay, they're louder, they're better. But overall, they were pretty close, but I would say I would give Jackson State the nudge because I thought that they executed better. On the fifth, though, I definitely felt that Jackson State executed better. I think that their arrangements were a lot more sophisticated than what Tennessee State was playing, which is kind of the opposite of what I'm used to. I think the Jackson State's arrangement, the technicality of their arrangements has gone up a lot. And the other thing I like about them is that when they're doing the intricate parts, you can hear the intricate parts. They come out.
Right.
What's happening a lot with Tennessee State is like the trumpets will be doing something or the mellophones will be doing something, but the trombones and baritones are dominating it so much that you can't really tell what they're doing. So let me just throw this out there real quick, and this is for any band and the whole arrangers across the country. Hear this. Look, if your trumpet section is too weak to balance your band, Stop putting them in the position that's going to cause you to fail. That's
Don't play
all the constellation of doing that. Their trumpet sections are not strong enough to handle the 16 baritones that they have. Look, split these baritones, split these trombones up, and put some of them on the melody with the trumpet so they can come through. And this is a lot that was happening in the fifth quarter. But make long story short, I definitely felt that Jackson State had the victory in that bit. I
got to disagree. Respectfully, I got to disagree with that. I thought, I did see the fifth, and I thought the Periscope, so take that, with a grain of salt. But I thought that Tennessee State, their arrangements may have been more simple than Jackson State, but I felt like they executed better, too. And I think the big difference to me was, like, if you look at how Tennessee State played, what did they play? They played Gin and Juice. I was like, that is my new song. Like, it was just good. Everything about it was just cranking when they played Gin and Juice. And then when Jackson State played Jupiter, it was obvious what you said about those trumpets not being balanced and all that. It was obvious because the part in Jupiter when that part you couldn't hear it. I was like, why are you gonna play a song like Jupiter and you can barely hear the melody? I mean, I was just like, no. So I thought overall Tennessee State did a better job in the fifth. Jackson State, I've kind of been a little underwhelmed by them. I've been unimpressed with them so far. Now they may, it's still September, but I mean they got a big battle coming up this weekend, so I'm gonna need them to get it together because they're kind of underwhelming me, at this point.
I'm surprised at how big they are. I had never seen. The first thing that jumped out at me was the brass was in one section and then the woodwinds on the left. I had never seen that, so I was like, damn, they huge.
They were in four sections. It was the brass, the woodwinds, and then most of the percussion section. And if you look further to the left, the tenor drums were in a whole separate row.
They're huge. Shout out to the Boominati. Shout out to the Boominati Facebook page for all the folks. That's, the little secret group, we have and everything. They've been putting pictures up in the band room, and, like, the whole band is, like, barely fitting in the band room. So I knew that they were big. It just tripped me out to see that. I'm so glad, Christy, you brought that up about the trumpets. I will tell the world that the Royal Order of Trump Funk has ran the Sonic Boom of the South for so many years that internally other sections don't really care for us. Now they are in full bloom of themselves. Everybody is loving to kick the trumpets while they're down. Everyone we don't have any trumpets anymore, blah, blah, blah. And everybody will never point out the fact that we have more horns and B-tones to cover them up. Hopefully one day we'll have about 70 trumpets, so then things would work out for us. But yes, the trumpets are getting swallowed up.
Trumpet player.
Yes, we are getting swallowed up in a lot of our songs. Yes, this is the truth, but it's all good. Like I said, we'll be back. I was torn with the fifth because the play calling to me wasn't all that. And Rashad and I, we always talk about the play calling as far as what the drum major, whoever throws out
everything.
there. Was it the Tiger San Pedro or whatever the Boom played the last song? I was surprised they did that. I'm surprised that they threw that out there at Tennessee. Why would you do that? You're Jackson State. Why would you throw that song?
Because Boom is Norfolk State. Norfolk State Junior, Norfolk State of 2015.
Yes. That scared me. So I said, y'all shouldn't have done that. But I did like a couple of songs Tennessee State played. They did well. But it was. I don't think the play calling was all that, and of course, I can't really say Tennessee State was better. I mean, but I think maybe their play calling was a shade better than ours. So we can take that for what that's worth. We actually ended here right on time to go into the last commercial break. So shout out to you if you're still out there listening with us, and shout out to our panelists. I know it's been an hour and a half, and thanks again for being on with us tonight. We'll wrap up the show with a little news, or I know Ashley was talking about our smaller school program, so we'll talk about that a little bit. Again, you're welcome to call in, 718-664-6025. We'll hear from our sponsors here, and then we'll wrap it up here in our last segment in the 90 Degree Show 2015, weeks 1 and 2. Thanks again for listening.
Hey, this your girl, Casey Nesbitt, 2000 graduate of Jackson State University, Crab of 1996 of the Sonic Boom of the South, 2002 graduate of North Carolina Agriculture and Technical State University, Aggie Pride, also a proud member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Fall 1997 Delta Pi Chapter, and you're listening to the 90 Degree Show here on the Marching Podcast Network.
Having an anniversary party, birthday party, or better yet, you're about to marry that special someone? Liquid Effects Photography is the perfect choice to immortalize all your most special moments. With 10 years of dependable professional service that can deliver from the conventional to the best in cutting-edge technology and creativity. Come experience the uniqueness of Liquid Effects Photography. We serve the entire upper Midwest and will travel further upon request. Come check us out at liquideffects.com. That's LIQUIDEFFEX.com. Or call us at 773-454-5556. That's 773-454-5556.
Band directors, have you ever found yourselves in this situation? Showtime is quickly approaching. Your budget is quickly disappearing. Your music choices are narrowing. The equipment condition is wearing and your stress level is mounting. Stop what you're doing and contact Block Band Music and find out how we've got you. Check www.blockbandmusic.com, providing music, equipment, gear, and accessories to show style, core style, and traditional bands worldwide.
What if there was a Facebook for bands? Wait a minute, there is. Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org is a social network for HBCU show bands. You can create your own profile and post videos, photos, and comments on Bandhead.org. Need somewhere to post events, audition schedules, job postings? Check out Bandhead.org. Are you recruiting for talent? Go to Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org, a social network for bands.
From photo shoots to graduation pictures, from probates to band footage, from pageants to yard shows, there's only one team you can count on, The Edge One Productions. Visit theedge1.com and trust me, you won't be disappointed.
Hello, this is Michael Cowan, Director of Bands at Fairleigh High School here in Memphis, Tennessee. Proud graduate of Tennessee State University, marched in the Aristocrat of Bands. You are listening to the 90 Degree Show here on the Marching Podcast Network. Peace.
Welcome back here on our last segment here. Thanks again for listening to the Aristocrat of Bands, bringing us back from the commercial break, asking if there's any more room in the gym. Just throwing it out there, putting it out there in the fifth quarter break. 718-664-6025. Listening to the Great 90 Degree Show. Shout out to Rashawn, Ashley, and Christy who agreed to do the show. Again, to add more flavor and add more pizzazz to just hearing me talk about bands. It's definitely working out. We're definitely building something here. And next thing you know, we're going to have more scholarship money than what we know what to do with. All right? If you want to be a sponsor or a patron to the Marching Podcast, please contact the show and we'll give you the criteria. We can start to pub your business using our platform. We'll play your commercial, show your icon during the broadcast, and we'll post your website on our blog. And we'll help send out your information through social media. So contact us so we can help build your business. All right, I want to bring everyone back in to the studio here. Wanted to throw something out there. I know a couple of news things. I know a couple of things I saw over the summer I have to ask you guys about. But first, I wanted to go to Ashley because I know she was talking about this before, some of the issues concerning our smaller private school bands, private school institutions. I remember myself, I was at Smith, and the tuition was like $10,000 or something like that. Something crazy. So like close to like 18 or 17,000 per year. And then the band program, Mr. Gray, I was all excited. I got a $1,200 scholarship. And I thought I was like ecstatic because he said, you got a full scholarship, son. I was like, damn. So of course I later transferred for other reasons, including that one. But I definitely would like to talk about that. It's very interesting. So Ashley, I will give you the floor.
Okay, can y'all hear me? Because I'm laying down. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. So, as y'all know, Miles is a private institution, and Cookman is a private institution. Hampton is a private institution. And, Hampton's got Mr. Smart's son, Tori, who's over the range. And, shout out to Tori, do your thing. Wells is the man. I mean, he makes it happen. Wells makes it happen. Got to shout him out. Miles, we had our moment where we was out of the band was not a focus. But let's take a look at some of the schools in the CI that are private. And I could definitely speak from the SIAC portion because Clark is the biggest struggle band of them all.
Yeah.
My uncle is the chief arranger over there, Warren Shaw, a.k.a. Joe LeDuc. And, hold on, DJ. And it's sad because that band used to be something that was one of our bands we enjoyed coming to us and going over there. And now it's at the point there's maybe not even 12 people. And last week they had about 22. And what's going on over there is Clark is pretty much now. Girl, if you don't lay down. Okay. Well, it's pretty much now that Clark is only if you can afford it type of institution. Our schools were not designed for that. Schools should not be $37,000. Our institutions, no matter if it's public or private, And I never really heard of anybody really sticking it out at Clark for a whole 5 years. Like they might have to hiccup for a second because they can't afford school. So the school being as expensive as it is, Georgia bands being the way they are, children in Georgia don't want to go to school, so in Georgia. So that's when you have the South Carolina State, the Miles, the A&Ms, the Jacksons, the Southerns, the Cookmans, the FAMs, all coming to Atlanta and they getting these kids because Georgia as well as Atlanta has pretty much nothing to offer. It's too expensive to go to school, and then when they lost, when Morris Brown took its fall, it was a hit to everybody. And I got to shout out to Tori Goodson and Marcus Chester, who are also on staff at Clark. And I know the challenge ahead of them because we all have music. Well, they have music education degrees. I got a music degree with a background in education. Everybody wants this nice setup coming out of school and going into college, but you know, they're able to work on that next level. But when you get a place like Clark, and your president pretty much don't care for you, your administration don't care for you, because the president tells the administration, don't care for it. I want to know, how is it going to help that band now that they brought music education back, but you're phasing out the ensemble little by little. So also Kentucky State had its moments. Shout out to Mr. Alvin Level, who is a Central State grad, who is at the rival school. He is Kentucky State's band director, and the little 12-second clip that I heard of them, they sound like they're going to be okay. So they are making the trip down to Birmingham, and you know, I'm going to be interested to see what goes on, but it's just really sad that these private schools want they want a fam or a cook in a year or two, but they don't want to give the money for it. And one thing at Clark is you cannot have more than one scholarship issued from the university under your name. So if you get band, academic, and track, you have to pick one of the three. More than likely, you're going to pick the one. Oh, yeah. You're going to pick the one that gives you the most. It costs $36,000 to go there. So you're going to pick the one that gives you the most money, and then everything else is, you know, loans and FAFSA.
Right.
It's just a sad experience, and I really applaud anybody over at Clark trying to stick it out and work through with it, because I know when they got that new president, they were crunk about it. And I'm a realist. Your new president going to come in and be like, you're not showing me why I should give any money. So, you know, I didn't want to just publicly say, oh, it ain't going to happen that way. I said it in the group, but I'm good for calling it what it is, and it happened that way. So I really hope it gets better. Otherwise, they're about to phase out that band, like, quick.
We actually got a caller calling in from the 919 area code. Caller, give us your name and where you're calling from this evening.
I'm actually calling in to listen in. My name is Shakia White.
Hey, hey, how you doing?
Hey.
Hey,
yes. You were just calling in to check out the broadcast through your phone. Yeah, I'm going to definitely figure the whole screening process out. But, no, we really appreciate you gracing us with the cue this evening. I'll go ahead and put you back on mute so you keep listening to the show. But you want to shout out to anybody while you live on the air?
I just think that Block Band Music and Publishing is doing a wonderful job, and keep up the good work. And I love the 90 Degree Show.
Hey, that was. You can't beat that.
Precious lambs.
I'm just talking to my friends, baby. I'll be over there in a little while.
Now you're doing the most.
All right, then. Thank you.
All right, thank you. No problem.
Love
so that's what's up, man. So that's actually really good. I actually said I'm glad you brought that up. Christy, what do you think about what Ashley was talking about?
Well, I mean, I agree. I feel like there were, I feel like although we have a lot of good bands this year, there are a lot of bands that have decreased in size dramatically. And I don't know if it's due to those items that Taylor was talking about with the funds and the administration, but I mean, I would hate to see a band like Clark Atlanta get phased out just based on their circumstances. So, yeah, I don't know what to say. I mean, like even places like Norfolk State, they had a really small freshman class this year, and Howard, they're having their struggles, and so while some bands are kind of on the come up, like Talladega, some are struggling as well. So I don't know how to call it.
Yeah, that's definitely a tough one. Rashad, what you think, man?
Well, it's a lot of sides to this issue, man. one of the major issues is getting the universities themselves to understand the power of the band. I'll give Talladega and North Carolina A&T are both perfect examples. A few years ago, nobody ever heard of a Talladega College. Not a few in North Carolina. My dad knows about it because he's from Alabama. But now there are so many kids in North Carolina that want to go to Talladega College now because just by seeing them at the Queen City Battle of the Bands. There's so many students that in Georgia or around the nation that want to go to Talladega College now just from seeing that band, at the Honda Battle of the Bands. That they are really making a name for themselves. The school doesn't even have a football team, and yet they are really putting a name out there. That's kind of what can happen if you have a great band. And beyond that, even North Carolina A&T, I think, is another perfect example. There are so many kids that come to North Carolina A&T football games because of that experience at A&T. And a major part of that experience is the band. Because you go to a football game anywhere. We've got more black colleges in North Carolina than anyone in the state. And if you add the PWCs to that, my God, and the high schools, you can go to a football game anywhere. So why go to a North Carolina A&T football game? Well, because of that experience of being there and listening to the band pumping and getting down while the game is going on, it's just fantastic, and it brings people there. There are kids that go to that school even though they're not in the band. They just go there because they love that experience. If A&T didn't have a band, they wouldn't. I think A&T is the largest. Is A&T the largest HBCU?
Yeah, they are.
In the state? Okay.
I guarantee that wouldn't be the case if there was no band.
Yeah.
So we've got to get these university officials to understand you guys are sitting on a gold mine. And the band, now, so that's one thing. The next thing is we've got to get band directors to understand that they're sitting on a gold mine. So let me put this idea right here. Guys, when you guys are performing on the field, you have advertising space there is no competition. You can put on a like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, right in the middle of your halftime show, or any other theme song that you can stick in there, and go ahead and get your $5,000 check for whatever company that you want, because nobody's competing with you. That's advertising time that there's nobody that can compete with. So get that money from those companies. Go in the stands and play, a little a jingle from something. The local, Christian knows this. Michael's got a deal for you. That's how it's for the car dealership. I mean, there's money out there. You just got to get it. And thirdly, it boils down to us, and this is why we did, the 100 for Hampton last year, and we hope we encourage other people to get back. Alumni, we as a people, we just haven't really been supporting like we should.
Lord, that's a whole nother show.
We would do that, We can't just talk about, hey, we want the president to pay for this, the president of the school to pay for this. We want everybody else to pay for this. Why don't our bands don't have any money? But when they share the alumni stuff, we scoot it under the bed. I'm talking about myself here too now. Because before I did my fundraiser last year, I really hadn't been giving back like I should. Granted, I'm paying back my student loans. That's what we all say. But we've got to give what we can to our band programs. And lastly, these same people also spend time around your local high school. There are thousands upon thousands, hundreds of thousands of show-style band people over the course of the last 40 years, let's say, 40, 50, 60 years. Give back to go find you a high school band program and go spend some time over there. And you can help those high school band programs to grow. And if there's bigger high school band programs, it can't help but the rising tide will raise all ships. If there's bigger high school programs and more kids want to go to college, it can't help but raise all the size of all the bands. So that's my big feeling.
That's what's up. Go ahead.
And you know what? Everybody likes to crack on Miguel Bonds and just how he is. But you know what? I have to give Miguel Bonds, I got to give Bonds credit because, his band works the Chitlin circuit, which is parades and battle of the bands and everything else. But it works for them. And it works for them because where they're located. When you're in Alabama and there's so many different battle of the bands, which those are about to start up, well, you know, their big one starts on Friday. So, you know, we're about to hit battle of the band season for the next month and a half. They're always going to be on the move, whether it's a parade, whether it's, you know, the battle of the bands. They got something to do. When I was at Central and we was doing that chitlin circuit, bruh, it does not work. It does not work up here. It does not work, you know. Like, I give him credit. He's Bonds. He's going to be the way he is. He's going to do what he do. But he got them. He's got his band stuff to do every weekend or every other weekend. And, you know, if your band sucks, and just being honest, you can't hate on the man because you hating on the man because he has everything that you don't have, which is administrative support.
Right.
Money, and, you know, people to fill up those uniforms and them horns. So, you know, you gotta get a man his props somewhere. He's Bond.
I definitely want to shout out to all the things that you guys said, because basically you can take a piece of everything y'all said, and that's pretty much my whole take on it. I think one extra thing, Rashad, you were saying is that you know, these bands are an ambassador to the school. You know, I did an interview with Kathleen Hewer. You guys and all the listeners, check out my interview with Kathleen Hewer on marketing and music education. And one of the things I was telling her was basically, other than giving her the fifth, she posted the fifth, and she posted Block Band Music along with our other beloved videographers on her blog post as well. But I was just telling us, like, yo, you could Google Jackson State or you could Google Bethune or whatever, and the band is going to come up. You know what I mean? That's the first thing that's going to come up. It's the same business model that these BCS schools are doing. I mean, they want their football team and they want their basketball team to run things because students are going to start going to that school because they see University of Miami on TV all the time, or they see University of Alabama. Nobody, you know, everybody wants to go to Alabama, you know what I mean, because of the football team. But it's the same thing with our schools, where if the band is the focal point, you are going to start generating more folks. I'm sure the four of us saw some band or saw something as a shorty, and then, you know, later on, Hampton, A&T, Miles, and Central, they all got our tuition money because of what we saw as children growing up. So I definitely think that administration could focus on that, and we'll do better with our tuition. So wrapping up the show here, we're at the end. I wanted to give you guys your closing shout-out, if you will. I'll let the ladies go first. Miss Ashley Nicole, I'll let Christy start off a couple blocks. Do you have any parting shots, anything the listeners need to be aware of, anything else before we sign out for tonight?
Okay. I want to say that it's been kind of interesting that nobody's really talking about FAMU. And dare I say that they're being slept on? I hate to even use that term when it comes to FAM because they're like the most well-known HBCU band program, but they doing some things over there, but nobody's really talking about them. And I don't think that's right. I don't think that's wrong. I just find it to be interesting. So that's what I want to leave with, just some food for thought. Cause why y'all laughing?
Well, you about to say something else? You say food for thought?
No. I was just saying that's just what's on my mind. Nobody's been talking about them, and I just find it to be interesting.
That is, we didn't even talk about them today. Miss Nicole, anything as we wrap up the show for the evening?
I want to shout out my brother, Caleb Graham, out at Langston. You're doing your thing, bro. You're doing your thing out in an area where band is just not popular. Keep it up. You know, that hell no to the no. You're viral now, homie. You know, shout out to Central State. I know some of y'all feel the way y'all do feel about me, and I feel the way I feel about some of y'all, and it is what it is. And I rock with people who rock with me, but I really hate to see, you know, to know that this band is where it is. And, you know, I'm hoping that things could get better. You know, that's another struggle band. They ain't had no band camp. You thank the president for that. That's a whole other story. But overall, you know, y'all follow my my Periscope at Controversy, CONTR, capital OWVERSY 5. I got all the coonery for y'all, all the coonery and tomfoolery.
That's what's up. Right quick, without getting into too much, the director there, the light-skinned brother, is he still there or did he leave?
Mr. Key or Mr. Millsap?
Oh man, is Ramon his name? I got him on Facebook as a bigger brother. Thought he was the band
Key
director there at Central State.
Mr. Key is still there, and shout out to Herb Wynn. Shout out to Herb Wynn. He's the assistant band director and arranger from Virginia State University. He's been out there. This is now his going on to his third year. So we'll say this is year 2.5 because this is about the time that he made it a year and a half ago. So, you know, Herb, keep doing your thing. Hit me up. You know how to contact me. We can chop it up. You know how we roll.
That's what's up. And Rashad, what's going on, man? Anything to leave us out with?
Anthony, I see that you were practicing the spelling of your Periscope name during the commercial break there. I mean, you nailed it that time.
The struggle was real.
So I'll bring some attention to two things, not just Block Band, but also I want to say September the 27th, that Saturday, there is a battle of the bands going on between North Carolina and South Carolina. I want to say, Christy, did North Carolina win that last?
I honestly don't remember. I think it might have been North Carolina.
But it was battle of the bands includes bands such as North Carolina, UT, and Hampton, and Elizabeth City State, the Virginia Union, and I'm not going to try to name everybody here, but that's going to be good. It's going to be on the campus of Virginia Union University. So I hope as many people in North Carolina and Virginia and surrounding states will go to try to check that out because I had a great time attending it last time. Now, on to Block Band. Oh, yeah, definitely. On to Block Band. So we are now... we are pretty much doing just a little bit of everything. I picked up a new supplier now, and so we did not have angle bars before. So, you know, for those who are not familiar with that, when it comes to your snare drum, you know, a lot of core-style bands use harnesses, but a lot of the show-style bands use straps. And if you want your drum to stay in place while you're marching, you need the angle bars in order to do that. Well, with a new supplier that we're working with, we now have the straps that you can put your snare drum on as well as the angle bar. And pretty much nearly anything else that you might want. The only things that we don't have are really a tuba, a T-shirt, and a tube top. Other than that, you can get it from Block Band. We are now stepping into doing some things for colleges. So just this past weekend, we provided Virginia Union with all of their spats and all of their gloves as well, and we'll be helping them with their shoes as well. So we have not been doing colleges before because I believe as the owner in making, you know, small steps. You know, I want to be able to afford this stuff that we have to buy to give it to you guys. Because I want to make sure that we're in business. But now we're grown enough to be able to do that. So universities, we look forward to helping you guys out as well as the, you know, more than 600 or 700 show style bands and core style, and in addition to core style bands as well, that are looking to get things at a great price. So we hope that you will contact us. We've got a lot of music and a lot of equipment and accessories for you.
That's really cool, man. You got that that new distributor. You like Ghosts from like Power now, since you got like a new distributor. You know what I'm saying? That's all exciting. You seen Power, Rashad, man?
No, what's that?
Oh man, y'all ain't seen Power. Ain't none of y'all seen Power?
I don't
with
have
Omari
stars.
Hardwick?
See, the way my cable bill is set up. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I ain't got Netflix.
Okay,
Joe,
y'all
Joe,
gotta check out Power. It's really
Joe,
good. Omari Hardwick.
Watch Power on Periscope, and we'll stream it.
Yeah. That's what's up. So yeah, I was trying to say something funny there, Rashad, and nobody catch the joke. So, but it's all good. I appreciate all y'all being on the show with us tonight. As I go ahead and wrap it up, been really exciting. Hope you guys check us out and you have us all back here next week when we talk about week 3. That's all we have for the show tonight. Check out the website and donate what's in your heart to marchingpodcast.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Thanks to you for listening. And remember, the lectures you may deliver may be very fine and true, but I'd rather get my lesson by observing what you do. See you next time.
You need auto parts and accessories. Trust the parts professionals at the 126 Los Angeles O'Reilly Auto Parts stores. Our professional parts people know what it takes to get the job done right. Professionals have counted on O'Reilly Auto Parts for decades. Now you can too. Professional parts people. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.